looks like the joke's on them for thinking this one was actually going to do something. Because it is now officially confirmed, people, that Joker Folie at Deux, or Folie at Doo, if you want to call it that way, is most likely the worst performing comic book movie of all time. That's how bad it is. Now, when they announced that this was going to be a musical and all that, I really had no interest in seeing it. Honestly, I really had no interest in seeing it. As it got closer, I just wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't interested in it. And it turns out I was right. I have not seen the movie. I have no interest in seeing the movie. I'm not going to see the movie. But I did watch some reviews for it. And I'm going to give away a spoiler or two, especially the ending, to let you know just how ridiculous this movie is. But I'll come to that in a little while as I go through more stuff. The best and easiest way to put this is that this movie had no reason to be made. The first movie made over $1 billion on a very limited budget because it focused on the fact that Arthur Fleck was a man brought down and driven to madness by a city that was kind of itself going crazy. It was a show that showed this descent into mental illness and what happened. Now, a lot of people are saying that the reason why they literally did this movie is because they wanted to own the chuds and, own all the people who liked the movie, who liked the first movie because they weren't supposed to like it. And I even saw somebody say that, people were acting like, the whole reason the thing is that some people thought that in the first movie, Joker was some kind of hero. I don't think anybody saw Joker in the first movie as a hero. He was just a man who went crazy, and that was it. No, what interests people was watching how that played out, how the narrative and everything came together. That's why people watched it. When it came to the second movie, you didn't get any of that, and it just pissed it all away. But realistically speaking, as I said before, the movie is in serious trouble. I have 3 articles to go over. Yes, let me get started. First one comes from Deadline. No one's laughing now. Joker Folie at Deux falls down with 39 million to 40 million opening. How the sequel went sideways. Sunday box office. I think they said the opening weekend only brought in like about $39 million. So which was way under what the first movie brought in. Has not been good. Apparently, they thought bringing in Lady Gaga and all that kind of thing, and the movie had some musical elements in it and stuff. And yes, Lady Gaga can sing and all of that, but it didn't play out well at all. Her character in the movie was basically was kind of Harley Quinn, but not Harley Quinn. Yes, I believe she was a patient there, and she was basically, how they said it, she basically came off more as like a fangirl who liked Joker and wanted Arthur Fleck to become Joker, and then, in the end, she ended up leaving him. That's to tell you how crappy it all turned out. But it just wasn't working. The whole thing was working. That's why I said, there are reasons you do feel, reasons that you don't. One of the things that makes Harley Quinn such an interesting character is because what Joker did to her. He took this woman who was a psychiatrist, who was this professional and that thing, and dragged her down into madness and turned Harley Quinzel into Harley Quinn. That's what works. What happened in the first movie, the end of the first movie, when Arthur literally kind of embraced the madness of Joker? If you wanted to do a second movie, what you should have done was see him really embracing the whole, really fully embracing becoming Joker, and then literally, going out and becoming this crazed criminal or something like that. That's what you should have done. But the fact that you threw in Harley Quinn, made her this obsessive fangirl who wanted Joker to be Joker, that thing just wasn't doing it at all for this movie. And like I've stated earlier about this movie being so bad, it's considered the worst comic book movie of all time. Joker 2 beats out Madam Web and Morbius to make cinema history in the worst possible way. That's how bad it is. This is from the Independent. Right. After months, if not years of anticipation, the sequel to Todd Phillips' 2019 film Joker has finally arrived, and it's safe to say it's not exactly living up to expectations. Released on October 4th, Joker Folie sees Joaquin Phoenix reprise his Oscar-winning role as Arthur Fleck, with Lady Gaga joining the cast as Dr. Harleen Quinzel, aka Harley Quinn. I don't think that's exactly where it went off, but whatever. They talk about the Rotten Tomatoes score, which is actually really bad. Critics don't like it. Audience don't like it. The critics score for the Rotten Tomatoes is at 33%, and the audience score at 31%. All right. The bad news keeps coming as the sequel makes cinema history for all the wrong reasons. That's how bad it is, people. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Joker Folie is the first Hollywood comic book movie to earn a D cinema score from opening day audiences, spelling doom for its box office feature. By comparison, Joker earned a favorable B+ cinema score. Cinema score measures the film appeal by polling early reactions to major releases. Right, the sequel's D rating puts it on par with Russell Crowe's terribly rated horror film The Exorcism, which is the only other film in the post-pandemic era together. All right. So what with a D cinema score, Joker 2 is the most poorly reviewed studio comic book film of all time, falling behind even the much maligned Batman and Robin, which was a horrible movie. I actually try my best every time to forget that movie ever existed. And Morbius, a movie I could not even finish watching how bad Morbius was. And Madam Web, I've never seen pieces of it till this day. All of which earned a C+. Even the notoriously terrible 2015 Fantastic Four scraped a C-. And this is not the Fantastic Four movies with Jessica Alba. This is that horrible Fantastic Four, whatever in God's going to call it, that they put together where they brought in Michael B. Jordan to play Johnny. So everybody was like, what the hell is this? I mean, I don't even fully remember the plot for that movie. And I had to struggle to get through it. And I turned it off so many times and came back and told me how bad it is. That history-making low score is already translating into trouble at the box office for Joker 2, with the film coming in well behind expectations. Yeah, it's a literal disaster. A literal disaster. And you move over to CBR here, and they have it. Joker 2 set to become a huge financial disaster for Warner Brothers and DC. My thing is, did anybody look at this and say, this is a terrible movie, you can't put this out there? But no, this is what they do. They act like we are going to put this out and you, the fans, are going to like it because we believe there's some deep message in it that we can't be completely sure what it is, but we think it's in there, so that should be enough. Joker Folie continues to bleed profusely at the box office, and it appears neither Warner Brothers nor DC Studios will get a proverbial band-aid to patch things up. A new report projects serious pain for both studios once the sequel's theatrical run ends. Yeah, I have no doubt about that. According to Forbes, Folie isn't expected to land a much-needed surge at the box office after an underwhelming opening weekend. And because once word of mouth starts to spread, which is already spreading about this movie, it's going to go under. That's the thing. Now, you can have a bad, you can have a substandard, or should I say average opening weekend. And when word of mouth starts to spread that something is good, it surges up and becomes really interesting. That's not what's going to happen here. It already had a bad opening weekend. Word of mouth is already spreading like wildfire about just how bad this movie is. It's not going to get any better. It's not. It's just going to keep getting worse. That's the only thing about it. Just going to keep getting worse. Right. So that Disappear Joker follow-up performed worse than some notable recent comic book movie does. The sequel is expected to suffer above average weekly declines, putting its projected final worldwide box office figure between 250 million and 275 million. The reported forecast puts the film's second weekend decline between 60% and 70%. So it's expected to drop 60 to 70% by just the second weekend alone. According to reports, the movie needs to hit 450 million just to break even. I don't think it's going to even smell that. Like they say here, they're expecting 250 to 275 if they're lucky. Worldwide, if they're lucky. That's what they're looking at. The projected final numbers for Folie and Deux spells doom for Warner Bros. And DC Studios, considering the sequel's 200 million budget, which is like, one double the original Joker was only 70 million. This is 200 million, which doesn't include marketing costs. A little over a quarter of that budget was spent on the salaries of director Todd Phillips and his main stars Joaquin Phoenix and Stephanie Lady Gaga Germanatora. Phoenix and Phillips also each pocketed 20 million soon after the sequel's confirmation, while Lady Gaga earned a payday of 12 million. You see, my thing about this, and people have said when it comes to Todd Phillips, that he deliberately made this movie bad because he didn't want to make a second one. I don't understand why you would do that, because if you don't want to make a second movie, make a second movie, but they gave you a good paycheck and you figure, well, you got plenty zeros, let's just blow the thing down the drain and walk away. Doesn't work like that. You could make a good follow-up movie and say you want to make a next one and move on, that's all. But no, you don't want to do that. Now, in regards to what happened in the movie, like I said, I saw some reviews regarding the other. One aspect of, what they said about the movie is that some people have said that some of the musical numbers were not bad, but other than that, it just served more as a distraction to the story, which only focused on stuff that they had already known, and just trying to go through the whole steps of what was actually happening. It's even implicated. I heard somebody say, I cannot again confirm, but one person said in a review that it was also implied that Arthur Fleck was raped in Arkham at one point. Because what happens in it, towards the end of the show, what happens in it is that Arthur Fleck decides he doesn't want to be Joker anymore. He has just real himself. And then at the ending, the very ending, big spoilers here, but at the ending of it, he's walking towards his cell or something in Arkham dressed in white. This prisoner stops him and tells him this joke. And as he kind of smiles, the prisoner then takes out this shank or shiv, whatever you want to call it, and stabs him to death. And while he drops to the ground there, bleeding and his eyes starting to glaze over, you then see the said prisoner use the blade and slit his mouth, slit the sides of his mouth like what Heath Ledger's Joker did, and starts to cackle, laughing crazily, and tells him that the punchline is, you get what you effing deserve, and all kind of thing, and laughing. So they basically set it up like, Arthur Fleck was never Joker. This person now is the real Joker. Arthur Fleck was just some crazy person who did some shit at that point in time, and that was it. Then he just died. That was the big spoiler for it. And a lot of people said, during the reviews, I checked the comments, and people will say that, they knew that was how it was going to end up based on how the movie was going along, and that's why they didn't like it. There have even been reports of people walking out of cinemas in the US. That's how bad it is. So you took everything that the first movie did and built on and just dashed it to the ground and said, well, we don't really care anymore, and walked away from it. That's what you did. That is essentially what they did. That's the long and short of what happened with Joker, Folie, and Deux. So yeah, I'm not surprised this movie has turned into to what it is. I never had any desire to see it at all. When I heard it was going to be a musical, that already turned me off. But pretty much they have destroyed this thing because the first movie had so much promise to it that it actually made over $1 billion, and that's why they ran to make the second movie. And this is the crap that you put out. Yeah, well,
Police, get what you fucking deserve!
now it is considered the worst comic book movie of all time. Congratulations, you broke our record in the worst way. Let's see you all laugh about that now. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. I have a different opinion. I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.